Generally, when you're in a mood to eat some chicken starters, the first thing that comes to your mind are chicken lollipops. So let's get going with that. This is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. First things first is to convert this chicken wing into a lollipop, for which I've taken the entire wing along with the winglet. Now this is into three parts. We have the shoulder, we have the wing, and we have the winglet. So let's see what to do. The first thing is to check the joint here and to discard the winglet, which is this portion. The next is to separate this joint. So right here, I'm running the knife between the two joints, which is here, and I get these two parts. Now the first part is the wing, which has two bones. So here if you see, there's a thicker bone and a thinner bone. So you can touch it and feel it. So first thing is to touch and feel and to figure out where the two bones are and run a knife right in the middle of the two. Something like this. So here you have separated the two bones. The thinner one now gets cut further. So I'm going to just run a knife around the thinner bone and make sure this comes out. Make sure you have a very firm grip and an extra sharp knife. Just scrape the meat around this and you turn the entire thing around and you push it out. So this is how this bone comes out. And now we move on to the second bone, which is the thicker bone. I'm going to run the knife around the second bone. Something like this. And again, I'm going to push the entire meat down. Something like this. Now, the second part. I'm going to run this knife and make sure the entire bone is clean. Absolutely clean. Finally, this meat can be chopped off. So here you have this lollipop, which is now ready. All you have to do is now collect this ball of meat and convert this into a ball which is now connected to the thicker bone, something like this. This goes here. Now coming to the shoulder part. Now here if you see, there's a single thick bone. So all you have to do is run your knife around the bone, something like this. And separate the meat from the bone. Exactly how we did to the wing. The only difference is it has a single bone, which is a rather thicker bone. So you scrape the meat like this. Make sure you scrape the entire bone so it becomes nice and clean. Turn it around and knock this off. Now similarly, I'm going to collect the entire ball of meat, just give it a roll, and here you have this lollipop ready. Well, here if you see, I have pre-cut most of the lollipop and kept it ready. Well, however, if you are lucky enough, your butcher will do this for you. But if you want to get adventurous in the kitchen, well, you can get going. The lollipops are processed and ready. Let's begin with the marination. For that, I'm taking all these in a bowl. Some soya sauce. Some ginger garlic paste. Some crushed black pepper. And finally, some salt. Give it a good mix. And let it rest for 30 to 45 minutes. Let's start making the batter. The first thing that goes in is some corn flour. The next is some refined flour. The next that goes in is some chili powder. Now this chili can be a good mix of a chili that gives you good color and taste. So I've taken a mix of Kashmiri and Degi Mirch. You can add in some salt as required. And now I'm breaking in an egg. Give it a mix. And along with this, I'm going to add in some water and convert this into a thick batter. While the batter is getting ready, let's put the oil to heat. The lollipop is marinated and ready, the batter is ready, and the oil is also heated up. So now let's start frying. For this, I'm taking the lollipop again, giving it a nice roll, making sure the meat is all together. Dip this into the batter. Drain the excess and drop this straight in the oil. The lollipops are done and ready. I'm transferring them on an absorbent paper to drain all the excess oil. Similarly, I'm going to fry the other lollipops. The lollipops are fried and ready. Let's make it restaurant style now. For this, I'm taking an aluminium foil. So here, I'm taking this foil and I'm wrapping the bone which is exposed here. So I'm just turning it around and giving it a pinch. Similarly, I'm going to do the rest. Well, here if you notice, the chicken lollipops are not as bright red in color as you generally see them in restaurants. That is just the magic of some extra added food color. Well, if you're okay with that, go ahead with that as well. The chicken lollipops are done and ready. Do try these at home and serve these with Szechuan sauce. Chicken nuggets, in my view, is possibly one of the most popular starters across the globe. Well, today I'll show you a quick, easy and simple way to get it juicy, succulent and tender every time you make it. Hey guys, this is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. For this, I'm going to use a boneless breast of chicken and this I'm going to cut in 1-inch squares. For this, the first step is to cut it into half and then portion it like so. We need to get 1 square-inch pieces like so. Always make sure you use breast of a chicken because it's nice and tender. Make sure there are no sinews and if any, just discard them. Well, the ends of a chicken breast could be given a gash like so, a horizontal one and tapped back. Likewise, let's cut the remaining breast of chicken. Make sure the cuts of chicken are as uniform as possible so that they all cook at the same time. The next step is to marinate the pieces of chicken and for this I'm using some fresh thyme. You could also use the herb of your choice. Well, if the thyme is nice and tender, you could just chop it up with the stock. But in this case, I personally feel it's a little woody. I'm going to run a knife roughly over this. This goes straight on the cut pieces of chicken, followed with some salt and pepper. Well, you could also use some Dijon mustard or some mustard paste if you like the flavor. Mix this well and let's keep it aside for 10 minutes. While the chicken is marinating, time to break an egg for the coating. A touch of salt and pepper. And as promised, the secret to make it nice, succulent and juicy is yogurt. Give this a nice mix. And along with this, a few teaspoons of refined flour. This is just to make sure the batter nicely sticks to the pieces of chicken. A good mix again, and this is ready to use. Well, I'll add in the marinated pieces of chicken. The marinated pieces of chicken and a quick mix. After mixing this well, make sure this is covered and placed in a refrigerator for a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes so that the marination seeps within. The chicken is marinated and ready. Let's now begin breading it. For this, I'm going to use some fresh breadcrumbs. Dab this in the crumbs and this gets reserved on another plate. The chicken nuggets are breaded. Let this rest in the freezer for a minimum of 15 minutes. The chicken is out of the freezer. I've placed oil in a deep pan and we need to heat this till it's moderately hot. Fry these in small batches and make sure at no point is the oil overcrowded. For the doneness to be perfect, it could take anywhere between a minute or two to cook this and to get this nice golden brown color. I'm transferring this on an absorbent kitchen paper and similarly, let's start frying the other pieces as well. Well, you could also bake this at 200 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. Check the doneness before you serve. बाद में बोलना नहीं रे बाबा येड़ा बनाया. Finally, for some extra flavor and color, some curled parsley, but this time fried. So this IPL season, you have a crunchy and juicy snack to cheer your favorite team. Also, do not forget to like the videos, share the videos and subscribe to Get Curried. One of the fastest growing recipes in popularity nowadays is definitely chicken peri peri. So here's a quick, easy, smoky take. Hey guys, this is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. Chicken peri peri is an African barbecue chicken recipe which was introduced in Africa by the Portuguese when they actually got in the spice. It derives its name from the peri peri sauce itself. So let's first begin with peri peri. For this, I'm taking some African devil chilies which are extremely pungent. Give it a rough cut and this goes straight in the grinder. I also like using some Mexican ripe serrano chilies. The serrano chilies wonderfully balance the flavor and texture of the devil's chili. I'm also adding in some bay leaves. Now these are dried bay leaves. If you can lay your hands on the fresh ones, nothing like it. Just stirring this roughly. With this, some fresh garlic cloves, a sprinkle of sea salt, some extra virgin olive oil. Be generous with the amount of oil that goes in this recipe. Another hint of spice which balances the smokiness of this recipe is smoked paprika. Finally, a little lemon juice. The traditional recipe of a chicken peri peri does not call for lemon juice, but I love adding that. Make sure you catch hold of all the seeds. Now this needs to be ground into a super fine paste. The spice mix is ready. Let's transfer this in a bowl. And now let's move on to marinating the chicken. I'm going to take these pieces of chicken and cut these into desired size, into 8 big pieces. Make sure you remove all the fat and sinews and give it a few gashes. Let's transfer the cut pieces of chicken in a large bowl. And with this, the peri peri spice mix. With the help of a tongs or gloves, make sure you mix this nicely because this mixture is going to be extremely pungent. The extra peri peri sauce, by the way, can also be bottled and can go in your refrigerator for an easy 15 to 20 days. Well, the same barbecue flavor can also be created in your own home kitchens by a small little trick, and that is by infusing this with smoking charcoal. On the burner, I'm going to place a few pieces of wood charcoal and light them up till they turn red. Let's place the bowl in the middle of the marinated chicken pieces. Well, since it's a traditional barbecue recipe, the smoke is what defines the flavor. A little splash of oil and immediately on goes the lid. Let this now smoke for 30 minutes. It's roughly been an hour. Let's quickly check the chicken. Well, perfectly done. This is also cooled down. And now, let's heat the grill pan on moderate flame. Let's quickly give this another mix. If you smell this, this is amazingly smoky at this point in time. Well, the pan is also heated up. I'm going to lift these pieces and carefully place them in the pan. I'm deliberately not going to use oil because the marinade itself has a good amount of oil. Increase the flame and make sure this gets nice brown marks on both the sides. Do not overcrowd the pan, otherwise it may just start releasing a lot of moisture. Well, I can comfortably place in around 8 pieces. You can be your best judge according to the size of your pan. Well, traditionally, this step is done over a barbecue. But since we've already smoked it, I think that's the perfect home twist. Another trick to give it a nice flavor of fresh parsley. I'm just going to bundle up some fresh leaves, dab these in the marinade and baste the pieces of chicken. This little bunch of parsley makes a nice little kitchen brush which is made out of herbs. Keep turning the pieces of chicken once, twice over and make sure they're nice and brown on all sides. With this, with a few more turns, your peri peri chicken is ready. And just before the flame goes off, a quick few sprigs of fresh parsley, off goes the flame and peri peri chicken is ready to go on the dinner table. Hi guys, this is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. Well, I bring tandoori chicken into your kitchen today. Tandoori chicken without an oven, yet smoky, yet flavorful. The first step is to take a clean and patted dry chicken, and what I'm doing is I'm creating a few gashes in this. So by gashes, I mean these incisions, these deep cuts, so that the marination and the masalas go right straight in. So the chicken is cut and ready. Now is the time to start marinating this. So what I have here with me is some fresh yogurt, red chili powder, ginger garlic paste, turmeric, and salt to taste. I'm going to rub all these masalas to these pieces of chicken. Make sure it's nicely rubbed in. I'm just making sure the marination reaches each and every cut and incision of this piece. I'm now going to rest this for 30 minutes at room temperature. Let it nicely marinate. Well, allow me to wash my hands as well. Now that the chicken is marinated and ready, let's begin the frying process. The first thing that goes is some oil in a pan, and along with this, a little bit of salted butter. Allow this to heat. Once the oil is moderately hot, I'll start putting in the pieces of chicken. You just have to make sure you do not overcrowd the pan, otherwise they start releasing a lot of liquids and moisture. The chicken has been cooking for 1.5 minutes on the first side. I've given it a flip. And now if you see, the color is nice and golden brown, exactly like the tandoori chicken baked in a tandoor. It's been roughly around 10 to 12 minutes. The chicken has nicely cooked on all the sides. It has cooked in right till the center. Off goes the flame. I'm transferring this into a deep bowl. Here is a magic trick to give this chicken the taste and flavor of a tandoor. I have a piece of charcoal which I'm now going to light on the gas. So let it nicely char and become red in color, and then I show you what I do with that. Finally, the trick to create smoke like tandoor. So I'm using a small steel glass, and on top of this, I'm going to place the red coal. Let's create the magic smoke. A few splashes of oil, and on goes the lid. Let this be nicely covered for like a minute and a half. Let all the chicken pieces get the flavor of smoke, and then we'll start plating. And ta-da! The tandoori chicken is ready. Off goes the piece of charcoal, and now let's start plating. So here you have this beautiful and rustic tandoori chicken for you and your family. Wait for what next the Bombay chef gets in your kitchen.
Today I'm going to show you a very interesting starter which can go as a party snack as well, and it is called the tandoori aloo stuffed with keema. I've taken a kilo of medium-sized potatoes which I'm going to put in a pressure cooker and boil along with some salt. Don't forget to wash the potatoes before you put them to boil. So pressure cook these potatoes for 3 whistles. In another pressure cooker, I'm going to heat 2 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm going to add 2 finely chopped onions and saute them nice and golden. The onions have become nice and golden. I'm going to add a teaspoon of ginger paste, a teaspoon of garlic paste, and saute it. To this, I'm going to add a tablespoon of chili powder, turmeric, half a teaspoon, cumin seed powder, a tablespoon, and a tablespoon of coriander seed powder. Mix this well, and now I'm going to add my half a kilo of mutton mince. I'm going to saute this for 3 to 4 minutes. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garam masala to this, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped coriander, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped mint leaves. Mix this well. And then I'm going to add my salt, and I'm going to pressure cook this till the keema is done. Let me add very little water to this. And I'm going to pressure cook this. So while the potatoes are getting cooked and the keema is getting cooked, let's get our tandoori marination ready. For that, I'm taking a cup of curd, a teaspoon of ginger paste, a teaspoon of garlic paste, tandoori garam masala, which is easily available in the market. I'm taking a teaspoon of it, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of red chili powder, and a pinch of food color and some salt. And now mix this well. And our marination is ready. Now we'll wait for the keema and the potatoes to get cooked. Our keema is done. Our potatoes are boiled. I have peeled them and cut into halves. So now what I'm going to do is just scoop out the potato from the center Similarly, I will do it with the rest of the potatoes. I'm going to marinate these potatoes using this marination. So we grill these potatoes in the oven at 200 degrees for 7 to 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes since we had kept the potatoes to grill. Let me now just remove them from the oven. I'm going to apply some ghee to this. Just gently apply it. And then I'm going to sprinkle some chaat masala. And now I'm going to turn these upside down. And now I'm going to stuff this with keema. I'm going to sprinkle some more chaat masala on top over here. And now we again grill these potatoes for another 2 minutes at 200 degrees. The tandoori potatoes stuffed with keema is now ready to be served. Let me get it out of the oven. I'll just garnish this with some coriander. And we're good to go. Instead of using potatoes, you can use boiled eggs as well. So it becomes even more healthier. So do try this dish and let me know. For such interesting party recipes, subscribe to Get Curried.
Hey guys, I'm Neha Naik and welcome to Get Curried. Today we are gonna see how to make a quick appetizer that is a favorite with both kids and adults. We are gonna make chicken salami roll-up. So let's get started. We'll start up with heating up some oil in a frying pan or a wok. Then we'll move on to marinating our shredded chicken. In a bowl I've taken around half a cup of shredded chicken, and to this I'll be adding Szechuan sauce. You can add any sauce of your choice. Once the chicken is coated with the sauce, keep it aside. Next we'll start with the breadcrumbs. In the breadcrumbs, I'm going to be adding a little bit of chili powder, some salt to taste, and some garlic powder. Now we'll mix it. Now we'll start up with cutting the salamis. Take a salami and cut it right in the middle. Here I've taken pepper and herb salami. You can use plain or any other kind that you like. We'll repeat with the rest of the salamis. Now we'll be making cheese balls. I've taken pizza cheese, that is basically a mixture of mozzarella and cheddar. Flatten the cheese out. Add a little bit of marinated chicken in it. Dip the ball into the breadcrumbs and place it on a plate. Similarly, we'll repeat with the rest of the cheese. Now we'll start with assembling the roll-ups. I'll be taking half of the salami. In this, I'll be adding the cheese ball. And then with the help of a toothpick, I'll be sealing the ends shut. Similarly, we'll assemble the other roll-ups. Now we'll start with coating the roll-ups first in all-purpose flour or maida. Remove the excess maida. Then we'll put the roll-up in the egg mixture. Then we'll coat it with breadcrumbs. Shake off the excess breadcrumbs. Similarly, we'll repeat with the other roll-ups. Let's start with frying the roll-ups. Carefully pick each one up. You can serve these appetizers with a dip of your choice at any of your house parties. Do try it out and let us know in the comment section below. And for such amazing recipes, stay tuned to Get Curried.